So how much have you guys raised in total and over how many rounds?
I think it's like 320 million in equity, plus something like I don't even remember how much in debt, but
It's an amazing amount because you guys have been around 2 years, right? Or
two and a
less.
half. Yes.
So let's kind of go in chronological order. You get into YC, you pivot this virtual reality idea into a payments, and then did you just raise that seed round right out of YC or what?
Yeah. So we raised a kind of a Series A right out of YC, and basically, we went to talk to a few investors that we already knew. And we ended up going with Ribbit Capital, which is someone we knew for a long time because they're one of the few fintech investors in Brazil, and we had a fintech business in Brazil. So, one of the few people to talk to. Also, the founder was, Venezuelan or Brazilian, so we had, that connection there. Um, and so he led the round, Ribbit, and then we had a bunch of angel investors join in.
I saw like Max Levchin and Peter Thiel and some
Yeah.
big names. So what's the story behind getting those guys involved? How do you get in front of Peter Thiel and uh yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The funnier story is actually of how we got to meet Max,
good
which
stuff.
we were still at Stanford when it happened, and basically knew we wanted to start another startup at some point. And we went to Stanford Career Fair. And turns out most of Stanford Career Fair, if you're a freshman, they don't want to talk to you because, like, oh, we don't hire freshmen.
Hmm.
So it turns out that firm was one of the few ones that were willing to talk to us. And then our idea was we wanted to, go through all these recruiting processes so we learn how to do recruiting in Silicon Valley because everyone said it's really hard.
Oh, interesting. So you weren't
And
looking for a job, you were
no,
just trying to learn the recruiting process.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It turns out we got to, a firm's recruiting process, and they're like, we're like, we don't really want to work here, but really wanted to meet Max.
That's hilarious.
And then we met him. And then, he mentioned, hey, if you guys start something, come talk to us. And I was like, okay.
That's
And
awesome. He's a really interesting guy. I saw him give a talk not too long ago at NASDAQ Entrepreneurial Center.
yeah,
Just feel like he's a deep thinker, kind of forward-looking thinker. So
yeah, he helped a lot in the beginning of Brex. Like, we knew a lot about payments, but not how the U.S. worked, and he, taught us everything about card and payments, how it all worked.